With its Realme GT series, Realme has blurred the lines between mid-range and flagship phone segments, bringing plenty of performance, fast wired charging, and a sleek design for the price. The brand has now released a new entry in the GT line in the form of the $649 Realme GT3 at Mobile World Congress 2023. But is the Realme GT3 a viable option for your next upgrade? We experimented to find out. When you open the Realme GT3 box, one of the first things you'll notice is how light it is, weighing only 199 grams. It's not the lightest phone by any means, but it's comparable to the regular Pixel 7 and Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus. It also helps if your back cover gently curves at the edges into a plastic frame. This, combined with the relatively lightweight curved back, results in a phone that is a pleasure to hold. The rear cover is made of glass with a matte finish, so fingerprints aren't an issue. In terms of the back, Realme took a cue from HTC and Xiaomi by including fake circuitry in a transparent window next to the camera housing. Realme calls it chipset deco, and it's sure to divide opinion. You'll also notice tiny Dare to Leap branding in this transparent section. Realme simply had to include its tagline somewhere. Realme is also channeling gaming phones by including an RGB breathing light in the window that wraps around the dummy chip. This light illuminates when you are charging, when your battery is low, or when you receive calls or notifications. It's of dubious utility for calls and notifications unless you regularly leave your phone screen down, but it's a nice touch that distinguishes the phone from others on the market. Aside from that, the phone has a single punch hole cutout in the center, a flat screen, and a triple rear camera system. The 240-watt wired charging speed is the Realme GT3's main selling point, with the company claiming a 0 to 100% charging time of only 9.5 minutes. The company claims that the 4,600 mAh battery can be charged to 20% in just 80 seconds. We put the phone through its paces by charging it from 0 to 20% in 80 seconds, and we didn't get to 100% in under 10 minutes. Instead, the phone took slightly more than 2 minutes and slightly less than 15 minutes to reach each milestone. That is still extremely impressive. For what it's worth, Realme added that these figures required ideal conditions such as a 25 degrees Celsius ambient temperature and turning on the screen as few times as possible. However, the device continued to charge at an extremely rapid rate, despite the fact that the charger became noticeably warmer than my typical 65-watt PPS charger. The Realme GT3 is powered by Qualcomm's 2021 flagship Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset, which has surpassed the Snapdragon 870 as the processor of choice for upper mid-range handsets. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, as the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 is still a very powerful and efficient processor in 2023. Fortunately, performance was not compromised during testing. Scrolling, multitasking, using the camera, and launching apps were all accomplished with ease. Gaming should be a breeze with this device, and we discovered that a demanding title like Wreckfest ran smoothly out of the box with some headroom for improved graphical fidelity. Realme also boasts a 144Hz Full HD Plus OLED display. We can't say whether this makes a discernible difference over a 120Hz panel, but it's a pleasant experience nonetheless. The display is set to automatically adjust refresh rates based on the scenario out of the box, but you can also choose between forced 60Hz and forced 144Hz. Having said that, the phone appears to operate at 120Hz the majority of the time. MEMC video frame interpolation, SDR to HDR technology, and your choice of vivid, natural, or pro screen color profiles are also notable screen settings. The Realme GT series isn't exactly known for taking on the best camera phones, and the GT3 doesn't appear to be any different. The main camera, the 50-megapixel IMX890, is the most capable of the bunch. The image quality is adequate, with saturated colors and a high level of detail, though images can appear over-sharpened for our tastes. Low light conditions result in a significant reduction in detail and an increase in noise, though the Realme GT3 can automatically switch to night mode to improve matters. On the back, there's also a budget-tier 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens, which is a clear step down from the main shooter. Muddy textures can be found near the edges of some ultra-wide shots, and purple fringing and reduced detail levels can also be found here. In low-light situations, the ultra-wide camera is also noticeably softer than the primary shooter. Realme's device, like the GT2 Pro, includes a 2-megapixel microscope camera. This camera can get much closer to subjects than a standard macro lens, allowing you to see individual pixels on a screen, napkin textures, and other details. Finding subjects for microscope shots is a lot of fun, but the low resolution means you won't be using these as wallpapers. The focusing is quite finicky too, with even light hand movement resulting in a very soft shot. Still, for sheer novelty, it outperforms a 2-megapixel macro lens. The Realme GT3 comes with Realme UI 4.0 on top of Android. However, this is essentially Oppo's Color OS skin with a few tweaks. That's not necessarily a bad thing, as Color OS has evolved into one of the better Android skins in recent years. Nonetheless, the Realme GT3's software overlay provided a quick and smooth experience during our testing. There's also plenty of room for customization here, such as changing icon shapes, changing system colors, and personalizing the always-on display. Realme also confirmed that the GT3 will receive 3 major OS updates as well as 4 years of security patches. This isn't as good as Samsung or OnePlus in 2023, but it's still a respectable update policy. However, the software isn't perfect, as the phone comes with a lot of bloatware. But at the very least, you have access to a highly customizable experience. The Realme GT3 enters a fiercely competitive mid-range market in Europe and India, but the phone checks a few boxes for $649. A powerful processor and a high-quality display? Yep. Charging at breakneck speed? Indeed. What is ergonomic design? Certainly. The camera system and lack of water resistance are unquestionably 2 major drawbacks. Those looking for a high-quality camera experience and increased durability should consider the Pixel 6a and Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. However, if you prioritize flagship-tier power and insanely fast charging, the Realme GT3 appears to be ready to deliver. At the time of recording, Realme has not confirmed availability or a retail release date for the Realme GT3. Despite being priced in dollars, it is not expected to be released in the United States.